hills and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die. I want the chance to spit in his eye. Oh, well, they gave me bars, but I can see between to a dusty yard and a long gone green. They call that freedom, if you know what I mean. And I drown my sorrows, but the whiskey's gone. I'm sober as...
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Shortbangers. This is episode 95. I'm Matty, joined tonight by Colin and John. John, how's it going, mate?
Good. I am very good. I've just been beasted at the gym. The new routine set by the instructor, so I'm suitably sore.
I'm going to edit that, so it just seems like I've just been beasted by the instructor, and then that's it. The middle bit will be gone when anybody listens.
We both looked at each other there to say, "Where's he going with this?"
He'll do that for shock effect, and people will just go, "Aye, that's John, though."
Standard.
We need to get that on TikTok. Just clip it for TikTok.
How about you, Colin? How you doing?
I'm good. Aye, good. Just having a wee glass of wine while we're doing this.
I thought you drinking
Thursday night routine.
Zero sugar Fanta raspberry, so it's just chock full of other chemicals that'll probably rot my insides rather than sugar. It's got fucking sweet potato and carrot in it, believe it or not.
Well, I do believe it. Why would you lie about that?
I've got previous.
I've got previous. Right, we'll go straight to the questions. First one is from Ewan McAleese tonight. He said, will street monkeys evolve to have electric scooters for feet?
I saw this earlier today, and I don't want to buy monkeys. Like, do you remember way back at the start of the pandemic, there was like videos coming to like various places, and it was like, oh, nature's healing, and it was like tigers roaming down Fifth Avenue in New York, and there was monkeys cutting about Thailand that didn't know what to do with themselves because there were no tourists. Is that what it means?
By
street monkeys?
Just meaning that they might evolve to kick about in electric scooters.
I guess having a dig at folk with electric scooters as much as anything, eh?
Aye.
Is this
I'm not a fan of the electric scooter at all. Like, I mean, you've not had a shot of one. Maybe it's one of these things you have a go and you're like, oh.
I didn't actually see the point in them. Like, I was in Halfords before Christmas, and they sell them in there, and there was a sign up saying, I'll paraphrase, you can't fucking use these on the road. So, like, where are you meant to use them? Like you can't use them on the pavement. So what the fun then? Where are you meant to take them? Like, up the bing? Like, what's the...
skateboard park?
There used to be a BMX track in Livy, but I think that got demolished and they put a fucking police station in the way. Rather than sending the police down to the BMX track to get all the Jakies, they just put the police station on top of it.
I bet up the bing. Up the bing must be an old reference. I've just realised that, because do you remember playing the bing up the back of the Jack Cane? Like, there was the bit there because it was all the coal and all that. That's all fucking. It's just sushis and that now.
Fucking coal. Showing your age there, Colin.
I know.
It was the BMX track in Livingston, George. I don't know if it'd be the same one night, but when I was wee, I lived in Dedridge, and I was like very wee. Like, so I moved there. Away from there was primary 3, but I had a wee red BMX, and we used to foster. So I had a foster brother, and we went to a BMX track. So I don't know if it's the same one. It was like that red ash stuff, right? And you started, and you went down this big hill, and then there was a bump for you to do like your initial first jump.
Yep.
Right? And I remember seeing on the TV, it must be like Kickstart stuff. I mean, Kickstart when you were wee.
Brilliant.
Great theme tune.
Was it the Lampins? Was that the famous family, or the Lampards, or something like that? That they were the famous whole family that used to do that.
I can't mind that. That's a detail that I can't remember.
Mm.
Anyway, when you see motorcyclists in that jump and they turn the wheel, in midair, and then they come and land. So I've gone down primary school, young primary school age, got down my wee red BMX, hit this bump, decided, woof, yes, I'm flying here, turn the wheel. Obviously forgot that you need to straighten it again when you land, because obviously your momentum is going to do things to you if you don't. And then that's what happened. I went flying over the handlebars, bust my lip and everything. It was a mess. It was probably the one and only time I went to that BMX track. I think I was allowed back after it. Aye. Explains a lot, that bump in the head.
There was one at the Jack Cane Centre as well. Do you remember that?
I was never up to Jack Cane Centre. The only time we really went up there was to play fives.
They used to have a BMX track, and then there was like a wee cycle speedway track as well over at the behind where the Astros are. you could just race round it in a circle, but the BMX track was just still on for it. The 80s.
Nostalgia.
The 80s. Aye.
Is this also a good time to chuck in that you can get 10% off electric scooters with Scoots if you input Hibs 10? There's a
Maybe
discount
it's
code.
That's a great time to do it. If we were getting
Just put that up
sponsored by
on
them,
the-
job,
put-
I'll edit that bit out until they pay us
You
for it.
Stick that up in that top corner there, just on the other side of the countdown counter.
Bing.
We were talking on Twitter earlier on about how happy Chris Cadden is in one of the adverts when he's getting his boiler done. So the boy turns up to his door. Chris Cadden looks like a cheery guy anyway, but he looks especially cheery when he answers the door to get his boiler serviced. Anyway, right, next question again for you. And he says, how much insulation is plenty? I mean, how much would it take for indoors taps off all year round? Should we get massive puffer jacket things wrapped around our house? Planet saving and stylish.
So it's a question of how much is enough?
How much insulation is enough?
You've got a fairly new built house, eh? I've got
We
you're a
got
new built house
cavity-
as well, John.
I'm a fuck. I'm in a
Yeah.
fucking 50-year-old council house.
Oh, yeah. Because
For
I
now.
find out that's what you're at uni for.
I'm aspiring to better things.
You won't be able to afford it with these fucking bills. No, the what was I going to say? So the insulation here works funny because on a hot day, it's like it's cooler in here, but on a cold day it's warmer, and like it does the opposite. I don't know how what it is. Somebody out there will probably know more than I do. Like I work in an office, but it's like the way they build it is to retain, like energy efficient and all that kind of shit. So it does the opposite to what I can be sitting in here cold. You walk outside and you think, oh, it's not as cold as it is in the house.
Well, that's quite good. Ours is, we got the cavity installation a few years ago, and our house is it's just roasting. Can you have the heating on? And it takes ages to cool down, unless you can open all the windows and doors and that. But
I remember
what we're doing in the house before the price goes up. We're just trying to, we're lighting fires in every room and trying to build up the heat, and then just see how long it lasts with nothing on.
I thought you were going to claim the insurance. I thought that's what your plan was.
No.
The place
I think that's what folk will start doing. Like just out the back, they'll just start burning stuff to get a heat in them rather than turn the heater on.
Last year
It's here to turn bonfires, eh? Bonfires in folks' back gardens.
But the pandemic made folk buy shit for their gardens, so they've all probably got fire pits and all that now as well. So it's like a bonus.
Pizza ovens.
Pizza ovens and fire pits.
All right, next question is Fattest Prickus. It's from his dad. He said, are hyenas just regular hyenas that got taller?
Yeah.
Aye, ambitious
Are
ones.
they hyenas that enjoyed some Class A drugs?
Did you see on Twitter this morning the posties that had edibles?
Aye,
And they had to round them
saw
up.
it.
It's fucking brilliant. Like I would be in exactly the same boat. See if there was a box that I couldn't have delivered and it had Pablo chocolate bar, I think was the name of the thing.
Pablo
I'd be eating them as well.
chocolate
I'd be stoned in my fucking box, lying in the gutter.
I can't remember if they talked about it on here before, but Channel 4 did a show about old folk coping with modern day things, and they sent 3 old women to Amsterdam to get stoned. And it's fucking brilliant. They're sitting there, they get cakes first of all, and then I think they move on to bongs, and then the cafe owners are making them joints and that. But basically, the end of the programme, they're in a swing park, and one of them's going, "Oh, the floor's all bouncy," and the other one's kind of away on the swings and everything. They just looked like they had an amazing time, eh? It was a great advert for it.
Tell you what, there was a boy walking out the game on when it was the game Wednesday night.
Tuesday
night. We were walking out past the east, going back towards the lock-in, and it was strong as anything, and it lasted for ages. And all you could see was middle-aged boys walking about going, just like bringing back memories of 30 years ago. Our mate Warren was walking out and we're like, ah, fuck that hell. That's strong as fuck. These other boys a wee bit older and I was like, I think he had it. Just had it very well, whoever it was.
Right, this next question is one that we're going to try and show or describe. So it's from the Salt and Mince Pies, Aldo. It says, care to elaborate? You may need someone to translate French, though. Heard Colin is basically a genius. So there's you've got your reputation's preceding you, Colin.
Yep.
And
Say
basically,
something enough, people believe it. I think that's how it works. Eh?
I think I've ever said it.
No, but I have.
Oh, you
So-
have right. Right, the explanation for this picture is one of the biggest fails I've ever seen. A French anatomy book trying to illustrate how horses' bones are similar to ours, right? And it's quite hard to see, right? But what you've got is
Yes.
that yellow thing's a horse standing still, and then there's a boy on all fours he's under the
Get
horse. So that's and it does look like the horse is there's a wee blue bone for the horse, which looks like it's effectively penetrating the boy. Yeah, John, what's going on there?
Do you know what? I was thinking like there's an obvious. Well, actually, I was going to say there's obvious. It's maybe not obvious to people that haven't been in the deepest, darkest reaches of the internet, but there's something I've seen called Mr. Hands that's not worth googling, and it's definitely not worth finding the video of. But the other one that it made me think of there was Will Ferrell in Anchorman. I want to be on you. I want to be in you. I know.
Past the editor. That's what I think. How somebody can illustrate that and go, well, we put this in the book, and nobody's gone. You know, want to make it look like there are no horses shagging that boy.
Aye, what's the French for? But that horse looks like it's shagging that man.
Ooh la la, I think, isn't it?
All right, moving on then. Hibs programme said which podcast member should sing High B Hibernian before the next derby?
It would have to be it would have to do it like that, like, because I don't think it could be like a Boys to Men sort of style thing.
Like,
do we get like we could almost have it like a sort of male choir, and obviously I was going to say so we've got Longbangers and we've got like 5 of us that regularly do it, and then you've got the recent additions, Jamie, Raymond and Leon, and then you've got all the people for Quick Bang. And of course Tracy's been on Quick Bang before, so it's not a completely male choir, but I think having a female voice in there might actually sound as a bit better. So
a falsetto,
aye. So get Tracy up singing it. That's what I'm saying.
You're pretty much picking Tracy for it. I would have sent Brian up. You heard his
that's a shout.
Weller one, wasn't it? Broken Stones or something. These things. Is that the name of the song?
Aye, but we need to get if like Brian can sing, but Brian also can't turn up. So
I was going to say quite difficult. Yeah. We're all standing waiting on him to do the backing vocals, and he just goes, sorry, boys."
But like if we could pipe him in for some,
again.
if we could pipe him in for some boozer and Trinent, then we'd be all right.
The boy from Retro Video Club was brilliant. Again at the big get up you to them.
He was excellent. It was good. It was good. Actually good as well.
Aye, I'd quite happily do the get up if you were given the opportunity.
Love the dream. That's what I said.
Aye,
that's it. It's absolutely
it. Danny said, what scenario was the person in who first said the phrase, "You can't see green cheese," to make it up on the spot, and what made someone else go, "I'm going to use that"?
So what's the background to that again? Is it jealousy or is it envy?
Aye, basically, same thing, pretty much, isn't it?
So they must have bought the last block of cheese that he has there, son.
But it's something you wouldn't want, because you would turn your nose up at green cheese, wouldn't you? Because
it's blue cheese folk buy. Yeah.
If you're that jealous, you wouldn't see green cheese wanting it. Then it was probably the most disgusting thing that the person could see at that moment in time or think of. What would you pick now if you were to go and say something disgusting that somebody couldn't see without wanting it? If somebody else had it.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. And that is the question, though, isn't it? The question is, what's the scenario?
That's how it stuck. Nobody could think of better.
Yeah.
Well, I get a tricky situation there, because it's another saying nowadays. No, like I wouldn't even give you the shite off my shoe.
That's for the different.
With the piss if
that's
you're
a different
on fire.
scenario. That's a different scenario.
I know it's a different scenario, but if you wouldn't even give someone the shite off your shoe, then they wouldn't like. If you didn't give them the shite off their shoe, they're not going to take the shite off your shoe. You know what I mean?
You couldn't even see the shite in a shoe with they wanting it. Is what you're saying?
Aye.
Aye, I'll go for chlamydia.
That's another internet reference, by the way. Blue Waffle. Have a look at that.
I'm not going to look at that. Right, fattest prickers. When hyenas say cheerio to each other, do they become hyenas?
For fuck's sake. Is this what's going through his mind when he's got the fucking saw on a Thursday morning?
Hyenas. Hyenas are hyenas that fancy hyenas and hyenas.
Aye. You can just see him, like, cut and then before he actually cuts that one, so go on a minute. Serengeti, giraffes, hyenas. Aye, I'm going to get in touch with Longbangers.
We had a mate called Ray that was he fancied different rucksacks. He was bisexual.
Okay, now you tried that one before, and the last time.
It was off. It was off. What's it called? Athletic Mint when he's doing.
Is that Bob Mortimer?
Peter Beardsley tell it. That's where I stole it from. And he's can I borrow Batman? But you've got Batman Forever. No, you need to bring it back tomorrow.
They're brilliant.
Right.
They're brilliant.
150k on Hanlon Hill said if the Earth is flat, what is on the underside and how thick are the edges? I think the underside would just be all like bolts, like nuts. Just somebody's tightened it, or Allen keys. It'd be like a massive Allen key screw, but holding everything in. So every tree will have a wee Allen key prodding up, all your skyscrapers and that massive Allen keys.
It's a wee bit of an existential way of thinking about that, because who bolted it together? Where is this giant intergalactic Allen?
Alan did it. Alan.
Alan.
Sir John Allen. Big Alan did it.
I tell you what I pictured there when you said about a flat. What's underneath it? I was thinking fire and that, where the devil lives. That's what I was thinking. Is what's underneath it. But that wasn't the question,
That was what's on the underside.
Rather
than underneath it, it's what's on the underside. It's just like or truly be plastic things you get on when you get your kids Christmas presents and they come in the
sticker on it.
It's got like the twisted cables.
The twisted cables with the wee plastic block. That's Alan's been ditched in favour of that. That's what it is. It's just all these wee twisty things holding everything in place. How thick are the edges?
Really thick, because it's holding everything up behind as well. So it's going to be a
this point level.
Good couple of meters, like.
Aye, couple of meters.
It's going to be really deep, because you see when your neighbours are getting an extension built and they dug really deep, and they're just a wee fucking bit off the back of the patio, patio doors, and you think they've dug really deep for that. So if you're building a big skyscraper like you just mentioned there, they must dig fucking really deep to add that up. The foundation, so it must be really, 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 really thick. To answer the question.
Aye. Okay, right. The salt and mince pies. I'm trying to work
out if the Earth has foundations in a flat Earth, like the countries and continents have foundations.
They must.
Do they have cavity? I mean, the countries have cavity wall insulation. How much cladding is required?
Only the hot countries do.
The hot countries.
Aye, always haven't bothered about waste of time. All right, so salt and mince pie. Going back to Danny's question, also the saying for one-upmanship: if you had one shed, he'd have two. E.g., Billy two sheds. Have they heard Billy two sheds before?
No, it says Tenerife, 11-reef.
11-reef, aye. That's the one these days, eh?
It's usually bigger than, was it Better Joneses or something? Was the other one? It was
Keeping Up with the Joneses.
Keeping Up with the Joneses.
Who were the Joneses? Like, were they just like snobby Welsh folk?
Aye. Yeah.
Maybe not snobby, just show-offy.
It would be brilliant if the Joneses weren't that show-offy, but they just had that reputation that folk just thought they were. And it was totally undeserved.
What if the Joneses were misunderstood?
Aye.
What if they were just trying to live a quite frugal lifestyle and people just mistook it whenever they bought something new?
Had a few bob, had a nice car, got the garden done for them. Exactly.
Went on Uswitch and found the best deal possible to save money.
Correct. Didn't go boasting about it. I mean, just done it. It's harsh.
If you're one of the Joneses and you feel he's been mistreated, you could get a contract with Raith Rovers probably, but text in 80295 and make your case. Right, the salt and the mince. If I was to start making a tandoori pie, should I put rice in it too? So a tandoori pie sounds good.
I wouldn't think rice. No, I think rice would dry out. Like, I wouldn't put rice in it. But I'm not a baker. Like,
Rice would suck up the sauce, I think. But
it would.
Somebody tweeted, I can't remember who it was later on, they've got one of these pie makers and they'd had a leftover madras from the night before. Put that in, rice, curry sauce, on the works, and it looked superb.
A pie maker?
Aye, a pie maker.
I heard that.
No try to put Aldo out of business here, but you can apparently make or buy a pie maker.
All right.
There must be a way you can do it, because I've definitely had pies that have got rice in them. Stories do them with the chicken curry pies. I don't know whether it's. I don't know if there's something that you do in the sauce or with those like moist. I know some people didn't like that word.
That was a word on Wordle the other day. Apologies to anybody it's not in the archive.
If you cook the rice first, it wouldn't be as absorbent. So cooked rice in it wouldn't soak up all the sauce, so you'd be all right with that. But if you put the rice in dry, your pie's going to be dry.
And then you risk it being hard because it's not cooked properly either.
Aye.
I'm not. No rice like in it. No, just the tandoori chicken and the pie.
Make one of each. Although we'll come and we'll test them and we'll sample it and we'll tell you which one to go for.
You only make 3 each because we'll only go do the 3, so we'll do the try one each.
And know the wee sample size. The proper size one. No, just the wee total ones that you get in hospital.
We'll come doing one before a game, next home game. It'll be too late for this week, but the week after or whatever.
Tell us when and where, and we'll do it. Parmaham 2 said, "Where have all the Rangers' Twitter accounts gone?" They went quiet this week, The Rangers.
Oh, they're not trying to get anybody sacked or anything this week. Like, are they just all hidden? Just
waiting.
Death threats or
anything. You still get a few of them triggered by the mention of Ryan Porteous. If you want to do a bit of Twitter fishing, mention Ryan Porteous and they'll be over it. Andrew Brown, how often does Gary Caldwell dye his hair and what shade does he use? John, you're a big Gary Caldwell fan.
He's a fan of dyeing his hair as well.
Yep.
I don't know. I reckon it's probably got something to do with the amount of jobbies that he finds in his lunch.
Put there by like a mystery person, John.
Just ever elaborate schemes to get a steaming hot tolly into his fucking lunch. I'm probably old enough now to be over it, but see the whole shenanigans when he signed his pre-contract and then he chucked in 2 goals against, was it Aberdeen? And then there was the get it right up you to the Hibs fans in the game that Hibs won. It's just something that I've just never got over. So he's.
What were you like with Ian Murray and Derek Riordan?
Ian Murray can get the fuck. When we were over in Belfast a couple of years ago for my mate's stag do, we went to a football game. It was Clifton Villa against someone. We just wanted to go to a game. It was a nearby one. We've not got any particular allegiance. And when we got there, my mate Sandy absolutely detests Ian Murray. I don't know if it's got anything to do with his antics when he was at Hibs and subsequent comments in the paper, but he just really hates him. And anyway, who should happen to be there just purely coincidentally was Ian Murray, so we got him a picture taken next to him, and Ian Murray's giving it the sort of the thumbs up with a big smile, and my mate's standing with his face tripping him.
But I always think it's funny, like Caldwell got a harder time than they do, and they're Hibs. Well, me and Murray know so much. Riordan got away with it. Both Hibs fans.
Well, funnily enough,
it's a likeable thing, isn't it? It is a likeable thing. What I've seen about the last week.
He always felt he was better than Hibs.
But he thinks he's better than everything he does.
Aye.
Every job he's had.
Dying your hair, so obviously Colin, you've not got any hair. John, have you dyed your hair before?
I've got fucking hair. I just need to lean down a lot to let it.
I see it.
Have you ever contemplated I'm not being funny about this, Colin, but have you ever contemplated a hair transplant? Is they're kind of quite common these days? Get yourself a wee thatch going again?
Nah, not really. I've not.
You got any pictures when you had a bit more up top?
Aye, I do. Aye. There's one. It's funny though because there's one. The one. It was one that made me get it. Just go fuck it. This is coming off because we were on holiday. It was Butlins or something years ago, and there's a photo, and I've got the hair and I've got the sort of up and a wee spike sort of thing at the front and that. And I thought I'm receding like fuck. You know, it was like that's where I noticed it, and I thought, oh nah, it's off. It's done. Fucking.
As soon as I get out of this holiday park.
But I've got photos for younger than that. Aye. My hairline used to come about fucking here. It used to come in a V
Aye.
down the front. You like when we
that.
were at school, it was like it used to come down like way down, and it's just gradually going back, and it's getting bald at the back now as well. So it just needs to, because if I let it grow, it would grow, but it would only grow to where the hairline is, which isn't very fucking far. And then I've got a baldy bit at the back as well. So I'm like, fuck. Just needs to come off and stay off and just be a zero. And there's a zero at the moment. Well, it's not zero on it. It's a week old, but I cut it to a zero. But the next thing will be just getting the back out and just taking it shaved all over. I think it's the next one.
But I was no totally white like I'm now. I tried it once. They were just for men. It wasn't for me. Like I contemplate it now and again, just because everybody's used to me having the white hair. Like what I think would be funny is the reaction for folk who had seen you for white hair. Like you go to just work one day, you didn't announce that you were going to do it, and you just it's like a kind of typical alright cunts calling in it. Like you just rock up like with a dark hair.
Yes, the best time.
If anybody says anything or because you can, they'd all be talking about it, but whether anybody would go, oh.
The best time for you to have dyed your hair recently would have been with your appearance on Sky Sports.
Aye.
Hang on.
Time for that.
Was I?
He sneaked away and done that one, eh? Natural.
Actually, if you wanted to do it, did I not?
I think you did.
Aye.
Never followed it up. You just said because I'm doing it. I'm doing it. But
if anyone's wanted to do it, you can do it. Just get in touch with my agent.
It's hierarchy. It's fine. I understand.
It was Mike Homewood message says you're on the telly more than dust. Right, David asked if Bob the Builder can fix it or can build it and fix it, should Fat as Prickers think of changing career? No, Bob the Builder's fictional. Then he base any life decisions on Bob the Builder. That would be my advice.
What's Bob the Builder's career though? Like a cartoon character?
He's a builder.
She's a builder, but is that a trade? A builder, or are you a brickie, or are you a joiner?
No. He's general. It's like Postman Pat, Fireman Sam. They've got a clue.
No, it's because I tell you, I'm watching the folk next door getting their extension built, and it's joiners that are doing it.
Aye, well, they won't get a builder. That's why it's taking so long. They want to get on the phone with Bob. And the real life Bob the Builder.
The builder's probably come and dug the hole and stuck the cement in it, and then fucked off and left the joiners to the hard stuff. That's why joiners they earn more money, don't they? Joiners, and then they get the sparkies in to throw the money about because they're the proper elite of the tradesman world, I believe.
What about Handy Manny? What do you think he does? He's like the Mexican equivalent of Bob the Builder, isn't he?
Boy in front of me at Easter Road, that's what he does now. He used to work. I know him from a previous life. He's now a handyman. That's what he's took the sort of redundancy in that. Went into handyman and so just like does shit, hangs photos and that for you and that, put lights up or whatever.
I need a handyman in my life. Like I'm fucking hopeless at all that kind of stuff.
That's what your wife says, I know.
Aye. Keep trying to find her one. But they joy. It's our biggest regret to get me married in the years. The fact I can't do fuck all like that.
Oh, I'm hopeless. She does all the shit. Like, see, we got even a flat pack for IKEA. I'm like, just tell us when you need me to tighten it up. She goes, gets it out and marks it all off. Yep, got that. I'm like, fucking hell. Just tell me when I need to come back with Allen key.
I'm getting a, like I'd build an IKEA chair and you're going, it's got fucking 4 legs in the picture, but this one, it's like a 3-legged stool. Right, next question from David. During Boris Johnson lockdown parties, did he get up and sing that there ain't no party like a lockdown party?
Oh.
I hope so. Boris Johnson wouldn't be in the S Club, would he?
Oh, aye, for it, yeah. He's He's a fucking lying bastard, eh?
Yeah, the lying bastard. A big fucking lying bastard. Right, Neil, what's the suitable punishment for grown men riding along pavements on electric scooters? Turn them into street monkeys.
Aye, spoke in the wheel.
Aye.
A stick in the spokes even. That's what's right.
I knew what you meant. The gesture gave it away, even though the words said what. If you were listening, you would be like, fucking spoke in the wheel, they've all got it. But if you'd seen it, you would have went, aye, exactly.
Yeah.
If you could, like, is there any way that you can violently interfere with the battery, like make it explode or something? Could you like chuck a big magnet at it? Would that fuck it up? Like, I'm trying to think of something along the same lines as like sticking it, because the only thing that I'm thinking about with the wheels being like sticking a stick through the spoke is that they're quite small wheels. Like, it's not the same as like a push
it's not like a bike. Yeah.
You'd need a smaller stick though.
Anybody ever done that to you when you were on a bike? Like
I
had a stick thrown at me full pelt when I was cycling quite fast. Jammed in the spokes of the handlebars.
Fuck.
That was it. So happens when you grow up in the Dre.
Right.
Hard knocks.
When you're up the bank.
You're up the bank.
When you're up the bag.
Surprised you never chucked the Olympic Ollie.
That's what the bing was. It was a big fucking goal. That's the thing. That's what it was.
Yeah, an Idri brick that get launched at you more than a bit of coal if you're lucky.
But that used to be there now. It's the fucking fort. Used to be the brickworks.
Right. Mike, well, fair enough. Speaking of Mike, what's your pet name for your other half? He says, mine is your maroon mutant puddle slipper. Apparently, she doesn't like it. Nobody's wanting to admit this one, are they?
I've
not. John's looking bashful.
She hates anything like I didn't call her anything call her other than her name. I'll get away with it. Like, her name's Carol, so I'll get away with a Kaz. But anything else like a darling or a hen, she fucking see me a hen, like that one. That's like, I know that's, I wouldn't call her hen anyway, but you know what I mean. If you were to, like, if I'd called her that, she hated it. You know what I mean? So I get away with nothing like that. She ignores me at the best of times. Like, I've got to check. Are you fucking listening? Because she's normally got her fucking head in her phone or something. Did you hear that? Aye, fucking. So that's how we're. Didn't get time for pet names because we're normally just moaning at each other, or arguing about something.
The toots. That's it. That's like a
no.
Toots.
No. Do you? Is that what you call her? That's not what you call her to me. You've never referred to her. That's not.
What about you, John?
Nah, I think pre-child, there might have called one another baby, but that all stemmed from
a horrible one as well, eh?
That all stemmed from when we were on holiday in Tunisia years ago, and we heard this person with an English accent, and we laughed about it, and then it became that much a joke. It kind of became a common occurrence. This person in Tunisia, like in the lobby of this hotel, just went, "Vibe," and I was like, "Oh yeah, fucker, that fucking accent." But I know, like, most of the time now, I think it's Joe, and if I say Joanne, she's like, "Joanne, like, what the fuck? Like, is it Sunday or something?"
We're getting around.
Aye.
All right, Jockey 1875. What colour does a Smurf turn when you strangle it?
I'm going to say white, like an off Smarty.
White was what I was thinking. Like, just the colour draining from it as you throttle the wee cunt. In advance on white call?
No.
Jamie Robertson, does Smurf shite blueberries?
Oh.
Depends what it's been eating.
Just because I was going to say just because they're blue, like.
Aye. Just say aye. Say aye. John, you're thinking about an answer here.
No, I got thinking about dangleberries. Like, maybe they dangle blueberries.
TG Willis, John.
TG Willis.
Should football just do away with offside? Yes.
How that James would that change the game though? Because you would just have goal hangers, wouldn't you? So it would be. Did they not try it in the 70s or something? Did they not play a tournament? Was it like Driver Cup or something like that?
Aye, was there no like a line where you couldn't be offside before or after it?
Aye,
wasn't
it to be the last man? Yeah, can't remember what it was, but it was something like that.
Just you'd leave someone up front. You just end up banging long balls all day.
It's funny that, because you say that and you think you would just leave somebody up front, but would you? Because look at the other night, both teams when it was a corner had everybody in the 18-yard box.
Aye.
So like we cleared one, I think somebody booted up the park and there was nobody there, like because we had everybody in the box and they were the same. It was like, so would you leave somebody up the park just for that? Because we didn't even leave one up for a corner.
Yeah, that's a shout.
But
if you couldn't get caught offside, because somebody would have to stay back with them.
Yeah, but somebody stays back in. But even though nobody is left, so even though, like, done this in a football podcast in a minute, but if nobody is left up, sorry, they still leave at least two defenders there. There's nobody there.
Aye.
They just take to sweep up the ball that gets cleared. There's nobody even there.
If you left somebody up top and the defence didn't bother, but they've got extra men attacking you, do you know, like if you say, we'll keep two up no matter what, if they bring everybody forward, they've got overload in your half. Do you know what I mean?
Aye. But you would always just, if they left two up, you would just leave three defenders out, wouldn't you?
Aye. But,
nobody does that just now.
You would tell defenders, just go forward, because then the attacker would have to track back with them.
Aye. Or do the opposite. All right.
Aye. Do you know?
I know, but it wouldn't. No, but when they chuck a goalie up, that's the same scenario there.
Aye. Okay. Right. Vince Robinson, does push come to shove, or the other way around, asking for Louis got two?
That's another thing like that green cheese comment, isn't it? Like, where did it come from? What does it mean? What's its background?
It's a shove harder than
Shove's
a push.
harder than a push.
Aye, so when push comes to shove.
So is that kind of like when you're trying to encourage someone, like you're trying to force someone to do something?
Oh, so he's asking because of the penalty.
It's a penalty, yeah.
Aye, right, yes. So what he's saying is, was it a push or was it a shove? Aye, right, yes, right. Okay.
It was a perfectly timed tackle.
I'm not even convinced it was 100%. It wasn't 100% a penalty, like Poker's saying, like we said last night.
Aye.
See if the Hearts player hadn't got bundled over.
If he hadn't collapsed like he did, because he's a big strong laddie. Yeah.
I don't think anyone's talking about it. It's just that, like he leaned into Stevenson as much as Stevenson leaned into him. It's just that Stevenson was harder.
I actually think he leaned away, and that's why he fell over so easy.
Yeah.
If he leaned into him, Stevenson might have fell on his arse.
Yeah.
Councillor Tom McEwen, EA Sports have just released Robbie Nielsen Football. It's mainly about taking penalties and shouting at referees. Would you buy it? No. Because of the greasy cover.
Yeah. He was at the lines. The official all game, like, it was constant.
Aye. Did he get booked?
Constant.
Nielsen. Did he?
Was
there no point where the referee came over to book him?
Not sure. Don't know, but he may have had a word with him earlier on because he was at the lines. He was at the fourth official. Like, is that not why? Was it Yogi that switched the dugouts? Like,
aye, he did.
To the away end to the home end.
Aye.
So that he could either be in the fourth official ear or so he wasn't. And I can't remember what way around it was. But he switched them so that he wasn't standing right next to the fourth official. Can't remember which way it worked, but
didn't help him anyway, did it?
He was definitely but he's a fucking arse. I mean, all his shite about they kind of had the possession they want. Like, they had more possession, they're making a thing. Well, we had more possession. Like, yeah, but you said it didn't fucking matter the day before the game, mate. So it's not about
William said, why do people like cats so much? Cats are good.
They're
underrated. I like cats. I think if you've had cats and they were nice cats, you would like them.
They stink, I think they smell.
All animals smell, though. All of them do. There's no animal kicking about that doesn't smell.
I can't say that I've ever thought that cats are particularly smelly.
Cats are cleaner than a lot of animals.
Well, they say that, but I always think they smell like the cat's piss. Like, it just stinks.
It is. Maybe you had a smelly cat that you
I've had a cat.
experience with. All right.
I've known folk that have had cats, and I always thought,
Are they outdoor cats, or have they got like a litter tray indoors?
litter tray, yeah, litter tray, aye.
Litter trays are stinking.
Milton Jones does. It's one of his jokes in it. It's like when he's got the live show and he says, "Anybody here have cats?" And they get to go, "Yay!" And he goes, "Your house stinks."
I agree with that.
The salt and mince pie said, if you drink it, does it stop being gravy and start being bovril?
It's a funny one, that, because bovril, like, gravy's thicker than bovril, isn't it?
Yeah.
Aye, bovril's no meat based, though, is it? Is it a beef drink?
It's a beef based drink.
Is it? What am
Yeah.
I thinking of? What's I think Marmite, which is yeast, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had bovril
I think
in
you
the
drink
football the
that.
other week. It was good.
Yeah, bit of pepper in it.
Mhm.
That's the way to go. And they're much better at Easter Road now because you didn't need to stir it as much. Because sometimes you get them and it's like, oh, the shit stuck to the bottom.
Yep.
Aye.
So it's just hot water.
Just find yourself standing like swirling about for 20 minutes.
Aye. Like a fine
But
wine.
they're much. Aye.
Best in the
Give it
UK.
the whole. Spin it into the bin. But it's that's a beef based drink. But a bit of pepper in it, that's the way to go.
I've never tried that. Is that? I think Harry on Down the Slope says that he has salt in his.
I sometimes put a wee bit of salt in it, but a pepper's
Quite salty anyway.
It is. Pepper's the
Like,
main ingredient. Yeah.
Leon asked, do you drink gravy or eat it? Similar to the question you get about soup,
I eat gravy.
Eat gravy, yeah.
On something, and then I'll slice the bit of chicken or whatever, and it'll be on it.
Aye.
If I was drinking it, it would be in a cup or a mug or
Therefore a bovril.
a bovril cup.
Aye. Ewan Macaleese, who are angrier, the general UK population with Boris or Alan McGregor? Definitely Alan McGregor this week, yeah.
How did you McGregor's with Boris? Because that could be you could fucking set him through the. Maybe that's putting him off his game. Maybe that's why he's chucking them in at Ross County on Saturday.
But you bear in mind who he plays for. He's probably a big fan of Boris, isn't he?
The Tories have fucked it that much that even the Rangers team are starting to get sick fed up of them.
Do you know how I used to work beside a boy who's a big Rangers fan, right? And there was a boy at work beside that was a Dunfermline fan as well. And the wee boy, he was like, he voted Conservative in the election purely because he was a Rangers fan.
Aye, they do
The Dunfermline fan was going fucking mental. You can't fucking do that. But that was genuinely that was basically it. Because they like the Queen, they like the Union, and it's blue and white. It was pretty much the basis of it. It's fucking nuts.
I mean, I vote for the Greens, obviously, but that is.
I always feel like you have to justify it. I gave my second vote to the Greens. So do I.
My main vote, but
no, but so I'll give my second vote to the Greens.
Football.
And I know, but you feel like you've got to say, aye, but it's not because it's green.
No, that's superficial. Ewan Macaleese, again, would you wear a Rape Rovers t-shirt to your Bairns school parents' evening?
I would not.
Now that tweet predates the decision to change their mind. So I don't know if they'll still get called that now.
I was in the gym on Tuesday, it must have been. And there was a boy in there with the Rape Rovers jersey on, and I thought, fuck, I wonder what sort of statement you're making with that. Like, are you in solidarity? Are you against it? Are you saying that you're kind of wraith no matter what? I never asked the boy. I just kind of, it's one of those things. I don't know about you guys, like, you ever, when you're out and you see someone in a football jersey, but you're maybe not quite familiar with it, you kind of like screw the eyes up and try and see who the badge is.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what team do you support?
Who's that? William asked, now that clubs don't really have mascots for general shithousery, should we encourage more of it from ball boys and stewards?
Did you see some of the ball boys last night?
The Celtic ball boys were outstanding, Apparently there was a boy down on at half time that was getting the V's to all the Rangers players, but then he targeted McGregor at the end.
You've got to target McGregor.
Then jumped back into the crowd. Aye.
It was even in the nets, like they scored one of the goals, they were fucking shaking the net when he was going to pick it back out.
Quality.
Aye, but even there was a clip I saw. I've seen it on since, but I was watching the game. I watched the first half because we done the Longbangers last night. But McGregor was chasing a boy down, like just I can't mind who it was actually, but he shouted something at him. He was like right in his ear. I was like, he's fucking shouting at him, but he shouted. I've seen it since today. He's like shouting shite bag at him because he went backwards rather than forwards.
He ran away back. McGregor and Barisic.
Was it Barisic? I don't know who it was, but it was definitely a Rangers player. But he was like right in his ear. He was just fucking bawling and shouting in his ear because he harried him into running backwards towards his own goals. And it turns out he's a shite bag in his ear. Quality.
Paul said, "Our hiccups scared at all times." You never get a brave hiccup, eh? It's a good shout, that.
But is it? Do you not give a fright to a hiccup to stop it?
You get rid of them, it's so the hiccup, I suppose, normally gives you a wee fright when it comes out. But if you can get a fright, it scares the hiccups, and then they go into hiding till the next time, till they're brave enough to come back out.
My mate Neil showed me once. I was half pissed, so I can't remember, but I had the hiccups on a night out, and it was like drinking out a cup backwards in some way. I can't remember exactly how I done it.
Meant to drink
it fucking worked right away. It must be because you're concentrating on doing that so much that it takes your mind away from you.
End up getting soaked, didn't you? Like,
I never. I done it and it stopped, and I was like, "That's fucking worked." And then the next day I was like, "How the fuck did I do that again?" So I need to ask him.
Get me to a picture format.
Draw it.
So we've got a diagram.
So you can show it off and name tell us. Yeah.
That's it. I'll put it on here like this. So it'll just be like disappearing. Right, last few questions. Neil McRae, as we drive on the left-hand side, should we walk on the left-hand side in corridors, shopping aisles, staircases, etc.? Yes, I thought that was like a sort of thing anyway in some places.
It works.
Isn't it? Like,
it's quite strict in London.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like they'll stay at the one side, and if you're covering, like you're coming to the tube and you're going up the escalator, if you're blocking the whole way, you stand to the right though, don't you?
You walk up the right,
and move the way.
You stand to the right and you move to the left. So you stand to the right and people can push to the left hand side if you want to run for an earlier tube or whatever, and it's the same on the way out. So you stand to the right and you run to the left. So, yeah.
You sure it's not the other way around? I thought like on the escalators you stood on the left and so that folk could walk up the right hand side.
Oh, I guess the other way now. You stand on the right.
Next in 80295, just put left or right stairs, and then
tube.
Tube. left or right tube. TG Willis, why is Dabrowski nicknamed Kevin?
Don't know.
Well, he joined when he was a teenager. So
was that?
He joined when he was a teenager.
Yeah.
Harry Enfield reference there.
I got it.
You got it. Fattest Prickus, would the Backstreet Boys have had as much global success over the years if they had Bristolian accents? Example, Backstreet's back, all right, my love. The Bristol accent there.
Fucking hell.
No, they wouldn't have. No way.
Wouldn't sing an accent, though, would they? That's the thing, you didn't sing in your accent. Only the Proclaimers sing in their own accent. Who else? Jerry Cinnamon. That's about it.
Aye.
Las Vegas did.
So Scottish bands. Some Scottish bands sing in their own accent.
No one else sounds American.
Adele sounds rough as fuck, and then she sings. You know what I mean?
Aye.
Like, you get her to talk, and she's proper Cockney, but she sings like an American or something.
Aye. Eminem, he's not even American. Like, can you hear how he sings? Then you hear him. He's a Cockney as well.
Aye.
So, if you the Spider-Man, that boy Tom Holland, he is Cockney.
He's English, aye.
Aye,
is he Cockney, is he?
Aye. He was doing like a West Ham thing or something, like whatever team, Spurs maybe it was. And he was talking about the football and in his proper London accent. I was surprised. I thought he was American. That's acting. That's how good an actor he is.
Putting on an act.
He's pretending he was American by changing his voice and making it sound American. And it fucking blew my mind. That
it's funny, but that's the thing.
How did these actors think of it?
But because you never knew though,
Yeah.
you're surprised. Whereas if you watch, I saw a clip of it. I was flicking through Netflix the other day, and I was looking for something to watch, and the boy at the office, Tim out of the office, was playing an American, and I just couldn't take him serious. I thought, I'm not watching that.
Right away.
Aye, because it's Tim.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like the typecast is their English or Scottish or whatever character. I mean, there's folk that are good at accents, so like Robert Carlyle and even the boy. What's the boy at Line of Duty?
Compston.
Martin Compston.
Martin Compston. Aye, he's quite good at not being Scottish. I'm not saying he's good at accents. He's not being Scottish.
Ewan McGregor's Alec Guinness accent in Star Wars is brutal.
Is it?
The pretend to be Obi-Wan Kenobi. No, didn't like that. Right, next question, Dorlisa. Will Tom English ever have something nice to say about Hibs, or will he always be a bitter bastard? He doesn't seem to like Hibs very much. I think.
So I used to listen to Sports Sound a fair bit. I didn't mind English, but it was definitely more pro Hibs when Lennon was there. It's like if you like somebody at the club, he'll back them. Like if he's got maybe the inside track, he's getting snippets here and there, he's getting the scoops, he'll support it a bit more. And he's definitely been that with Hearts, with Budge, maybe Nielsen's getting him a bit here and there or whatever. Or Budge is still giving him, I don't know. Whereas when he was he liked Lennon. There's no doubt about it, he liked Lennon.
Is he just a bit of an arse licker then? Is that what we're saying?
Well, where he gets his stories from. He's if he gets a story for somebody, he's not. If he says shite about them, he's not getting another story, is he? So but he's doing his job, isn't he? And it's just that maybe we've got managers that aren't on the inside track with him. I mean, we Maloney, see the other day, the BBC boy asked him a question after the game. I was in the car, and he rambled for fucking ages, and Sean Maloney just went, "What's the question?" Brilliant, it's fucking amazing. Like it was just like, "What's the question?" And I think the boy was like, "It was Brian McLaughlin." He was like,
"Aye."
I think he could remember what he was actually.
No, right. He was trying to get. What was it? It was like you're. The players slowly getting there, but he was like emphasising it slowly. But
yeah.
And Sean Maloney says, "It's only been 6 weeks." So he says, "You know, it's been 6 weeks." Sorry, what was the question? It was brilliant, but he totally threw McLaughlin off it.
Yeah.
Right, Paul Mackay. Why do you think people feel the need to read the labels on things like chopped tomatoes? It's one of his pet peeves at work. It's tomatoes in a tin, for fuck's sake.
There'll be calorie counting, is it?
There's no calories in a tin of tomatoes, so it's like, or barely any, is there?
There's still some, though.
I thought about tweeting something about this recently. I can't remember if I actually did or not. But the missus bought this bottle of sweet chilli sauce tonight, and we had it on our chicken wraps just before we got started. And I've got a picture of it, and I'll need to show you.
Started with what?
What were you getting started after your hot wrap?
Started the podcast, I mean.
Right, okay.
And on the lid, it tells you how to close it and how to open it. And I've honestly never had any bother opening a jar or a bottle of anything. Like anything that's got like a resealable lid. I've never went, oh fuck, I'm not sure how to get this back on. But this cap specifically says left for close, right for open. Like righty, was it lefty? Well, that even goes against lefty loosey, righty tighty. Like it just makes no fucking sense. Why have they done it?
Why have they done it? Just to confuse, so they get free advertising when folk talk about it on a podcast.
Aye,
that's their master plans. Didn't name them. Didn't name the brand. Well, no fault for it. Stuart said, "Is it possible to pluck pheasants pleasantly, like the pleasant pheasant plucker allegedly did?"
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
I always think plucking chickens and pheasants, that just looks like a faff.
Aye.
How, like, can you grab a bunch of them at once and just rip them out, or do you have to pull out individual feathers? And how many feathers are there?
I don't know. You probably could start off with that, but eventually you get to the ones where you just have to pick out individuals. I don't know.
Why do they have to be plucked? Why can you not get like a manscaped razor? I'm just going to try and get every single Hibs corporate partner in there.
All the wee bits would still be inside. You know, like the spines of the feathers. If you are a pleasant pheasant plucker, get in touch and tell us if it is pleasant when
Must be
you're
a
plucking
butcher.
that pheasant.
Must be a butcher that listens.
Aye,
That
gotta
would
be.
know about shit like that. They'll kind of slit an animal's throat and that properly and everything.
Ray Forsyth said, did Martin Boyle go for the money to cope with these energy prices and national insurance rates about to kick in?
Oh, he's not going to hit with that, isn't he?
Well,
He'll need that when
he'll be hot enough over there, but he'll need to save up for when he comes back.
It's poor Rachel sitting down there in Dunbar or wherever it is, sitting trying
How
the fuck am I going to pay this extra 700 quid?
He's going to capture the heat in Saudi Arabia and he's going to send it back,
Bring it back
to
in a
Dunbar.
suitcase. Right, Councillor Tom McEwen, question. What should visiting teams do at Celtic Park when the lights go out? I think they should hide. When the lights come back on, and go, where is everyone?
It's a perfect opportunity to go and score a goal, you know?
Aye. I thought hide was an answer as well, but then I thought a smart arse Celtic fan will come and go, well, you just fucking hide when you come to Celtic Park anyway.
You know, we're not hiding, we're just behind that pillar.
That's what it's hide behind the pillar.
It's not our fault.
You've obviously got a restricted view. You're looking over it.
Right, last question is from Matt. Do you pee or poo soup?
You poo soup.
Oh, no, you eat soup and you pee piss, don't you?
What was the question?
Do you pee or poo soup?
Yes.
Yeah. Right, on that note, that's all we've got time for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back on Saturday evening, I think, with Quick Bang before we have Heatbangers on Sunday potentially and Longbangers on Monday. So get in touch if you want to get involved. Until then, thanks for listening. We'll catch you next time.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no.